I was at my girlfriend's family BBQ when her mom pulled me aside and told me she was cheating. Her uncle caught her coming on to his friend. She was all over him. I almost dropped my beer. This was the same girl who wore a $2 ring in public so she could say she was engaged. My girlfriend, who still surprises me with handmade sourdough bread after work. Before I could respond, Uncle Larry appeared at my shoulder, that concerned uncle expression plastered on his face. Isabella's always been overly friendly with older men, even when she was a teenager. Something cold settled in my stomach. The way he said it, like he'd been waiting to have this conversation. She was always seeking our attention, he continued. That's what happens when girls are mature for their age, or rather, developed. I thought back to when me and Isabella first met. We were 15, and even then she wore baggy hoodies to every family function, arms crossed, always finding excuses to leave early. Over the next few days, the stories kept coming. Larry's wife cornered me at the grocery store. Isabella had such a crush on Larry when she was younger, followed him everywhere. He was so patient with her, but that's not what I remembered. I remembered her switching seats at Easter dinner so she wouldn't have to sit next to him. Isabella's teenage cousin pulled me aside at work. She'd gotten my number from Isabella's phone. Larry's been asking weird questions, she said, voice shaking. If Isabella ever came onto our boyfriends when we were kids, if she dressed inappropriately, he's up to something. I'd been waiting for the right time to bring it up, but enough was enough. I confronted her that night. Please just trust me. She immediately broke down. You know who I am. We were supposed to go to her nephew's birthday party, and she couldn't stop crying. Larry knows I'm in therapy, she continued, her voice barely louder than an exhale. He knows I'm starting to remember things. I forced myself to be strong for her and held her until she fell asleep in my arms. And from there, Larry escalated. He told my dad that Isabella had made a pass at him last month, that he'd had to reject her advances. My dad called me that night, confused. This doesn't sound like Isabella, but by morning, Larry had already reached 6 other relatives with the same story. I didn't know what to do, and was just hoping I'd get some sort of sign. And one day, I did. Larry called an urgent family meeting. When we walked in, 20 relatives were already there, whispering. Larry stood up, putting on this wounded expression. Isabella came on to me again last week. I've been trying to protect her reputation, but this pattern of behavior needs to be addressed. I watched Isabella's hands clench in her lap, but she came prepared. She whipped out her big black iPhone. The room went so quiet you could practically hear Uncle Larry's sweat beads forming as she read texts from her phone. You're such a special, mature woman. Your body is becoming so womanly. Everyone's faces fell. That bathing suit at the lake really showed how grown up you're getting. Was hard to look away. If you were just a few years older. Isabella's face and tone remained stoic. These are all texts our beloved Uncle Larry thought I'd never see again, that I'd never get evidence of what he did to me on my 13th birthday. She turned to face her family, who all looked like they'd seen a ghost. I guess being 60 years old means you don't exactly know how iCloud works. The room exploded. Larry's wife grabbed his phone, scrolling through it with growing horror. Her cousins started whispering to each other about their experiences with Uncle Larry, seeing if anyone else could relate. Suddenly, Isabella's dad, an ex-veteran I'd never even seen speak before, stood up and turned towards Larry. You touched my daughter? He asked, his voice calm but laced with venom. Larry grabbed his coat to leave, and her dad sped up towards him. Full story on channel, link below.